What is happening there, Reject Nation? We are going to watch part 1 finale of the Bad Batch titled Return to Kamino, a place where Hunter told Omega she would never have to return. Looks like he's going against that promise today. Guys, if you end up enjoying our reaction, please go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell to get notified when our reaction for the actual finale is up. As always, full-length watch-alongs where you sync up with the time code for the Bad Batch over at our Patreon page, covering a whole bunch of shows over there as well. We're at the same tier. You get the option for highlights and full-length reaction watch-alongs included. Lastly, Pratham Jindal, you sexy mofo, you. You keep being sexy with these edits. Appreciate it, bud. Anywho, let's watch this badass show.
Where are we going?
You'll find out soon enough.
Using my comm won't work. They'll know it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Easter egg.
Hand me the spanner. That should do it.
Nearly finished getting the systems online.
She wasn't too happy about it. What else?
Let's go get Hunter.
This is not going to go the way you think.
He is no longer on Darrow.
What do you mean? Where is he?
Kamino, because that's where we're returning to.
Coming home.
Where are the rest of them?
They'll be here.
So you're the one they call Hunter. The destruction your squad caused on Ryloth got my attention.
Got me aroused.
I question the clone's motives with his old squad. I don't trust any of them.
If his plan fails, none of them will be a problem any longer. Keep an eye on things.
Yes, Admiral.
Activating Hunter's comm was intentional. The Empire wants us to come to Kamino. I'm uncertain as to why.
No turning back now.
Trap you.
Every platform down there will be swarming with troopers.
Not this one. Trust me.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
We are at the given coordinates, Omega. There is nothing here.
You have to get lower.
If I go any lower, we will be in the water.
Scanners are picking up a large structure directly beneath us.
Yeah. Way to go, Omega.
Way to go, Omega.
Earning the team's trust.
Never doubted you for a second.
How are we going to get into the city?
We'll take the tube system.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, nice.
God, it's beautiful.
Omega, how did you know this existed?
Nala say. This tunnel leads to her private research lab.
You, all right?
It doesn't matter. Saving Hunter is what matters.
Where are all the ranks?
When did you start caring about them?
You don't seem too concerned.
Why would I be?
Because the Empire will be phasing out clones next.
Not the ones that matter.
Think they're ahead of you on that one, Hunter.
A ship was detected entering the system, but we lost them below scanner range.
It's them. Don't bother. They don't leave their own behind.
You tried to kill us. We didn't have a choice.
And I did.
Did he just confirm the theory that he chose this path?
It's possible. I mean, it certainly could be implied in those words.
That looks like every other Kaminoan lab to me.
Hunter's comm is still active. I'll pinpoint his location.
I don't get it. What's so special about this lab?
It's where I was created. You all were here too.
Ah.
Mutations were enhanced in this room. Unit 99 began right here. I was there.
Is that true?
How could I possibly know that?
There's nothing in the system.
Anyone else think that's weird?
Do not shoot. I am AZ-345.
Huh?
Omega, I am relieved it is you.
What are you doing down here?
I am in hiding. Soldiers were deactivating droids and forcing key Kamino and medical personnel onto transport.
Oh.
Those who resisted were eliminated. All clone troopers were reassigned and transferred off-world, with the exception of CT-9904. You must leave.
Not without Hunter.
Found him.
Huh?
His comm is pinging from the central cloning platform.
Come on, AZ. You're with us.
Welcome to the team, man.
I've seen what the Empire's doing.
You still don't see the bigger picture.
Can't you see they're using you? That inhibited chip in your head.
We have an unauthorized entry on Platform 5.
Time to go.
Oh.
I don't think it's the inhibitor chip.
Those are not clone troopers.
They're TK troopers. Like on Daro.
Hunter's on the move. This way.
Oh no.
Hunter is directly above us.
The training room, that's open ground.
Precisely why we will not be going in through the main entrance like he would expect. We'll enter through the lift. That should give us a slight advantage.
I think he's going to suspect that.
We should stick together.
No, Echo's right. Crosshair's after us, not you.
If things go south, we'll send you a signal. Get back to the ship and contact Rex.
Oh no.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well, guess you're wrong about that.
Yola, together again. You won't be needing your weapons.
Oh.
You think we'd bring her here? We're smarter than that.
Find the kid.
It's the signal.
We should flee to the research lab.
No, we have to help them. I have an idea.
Are those dark troopers?
We're running out of time, Commander.
You betrayed everything we stood for.
We're loyal to each other.
You weren't loyal to me.
Oh.
I'm going to give you what you never gave me. A chance.
Oh.
Okay, then.
Freeze.
I found the girl.
Send her on a shuttle off-world.
Crosshair, don't.
It's for her own good. You want to protect the kid, then let her go. Stop pretending to be something you're not, Hunter. We're not like the Regs. We're superior. Can't protect the galaxy without strength. This is what we were made for. Think of all we could do together.
Oh.
Oh, cool shot.
Why would we trust you?
Stand down.
Negative, Commander.
Woo.
Whoa!
Nice.
Badass.
Does that answer your question?
Join the Empire.
I said move it.
Oh. Yeah.
I did it.
You're a hero.
It's time to stop running. Join the Empire.
You really don't get who we are.
Don't make the same mistake twice. Don't become my enemy.
Ugh.
We never were.
Oh, I feel so bad for this guy.
I know.
He just wants purpose.
Oh.
I believe you may have activated a few too many droids.
I can see that, AZ.
Yeah, come on, Omega. Ooh. Yeah, the depth of field on these shots.
Oh, look at him fighting alongside with them. Damn. Oh. The hair on my chest is standing up.
All remaining forces out. Let the clones die together.
Nice, right between the eyes.
All essential personnel have been removed from Kamino. The cloning technology is now firmly under Imperial control.
Very good, Admiral. You may fire when ready.
Move into position.
Good work, gang.
Crosshair, forget the Empire. This isn't you. It's your inhibitor chip.
It's not.
Yeah.
Wrong. I had my chip removed.
I believe in this. Oh. No.
Knew it. Knew it.
Yeah.
Since when? Does it matter?
Oh, yeah.
This is who I am.
Oh.
Stun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was confirmed. Oh shit, it was hiding right in plain sight this whole time. That is crazy. Love that. What a great detail. You'll just have to talk him into it. Post-kidnapping.
You know, brainwash him back.
So, we're in position.
Open fire.
Ooh.
Hurry! Get to the lift!
Oh, Jesus.
Part 1.
Very dark. Boy, well, that's a decent amount to unpack. All right, before we get into it, I want to shout out to V84 for hitting me up on Instagram, getting me excited about watching this episode, telling me this one was so good. As much as this is not easily, out of all the shows we've ever covered, this has got to be like the least viewed one for us on our end that we've ever had. However, I appreciate those who keep coming back to watch us for this one. Some people like the V. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. And everyone who's here today. But, yeah, that was a hell of a part 1 right there. Crosshair theory confirmed that he chose this. And I thought he divulged it at the very top. At least it seemed like it was an indicator or a clue when they're talking about choice. And he's like, and I did. And I was like, wait, is that a clue? And they keep saying it's the inhibited chip. It's the inhibited chip. I'm like, you're setting this up so much in this episode to say that it's not the inhibitor chip. Yeah. And come to find out it wasn't. And they were building it up the whole time because Crosshair clearly felt like this is where he has purpose. This is where he, like what he was designed for ultimately can be used to its fullest potential, along with everyone else too. Where out as fugitives or anything else, that that's not what they were built for. So it's just a guy who's like looking for belonging, which is kind of like heartbreaking when you think about it, because I loved the revelation of that, and I love that the whole time it was like, oh man, it was right there. But he just has those scars, so you can't see the incision of when he had the chip removed. But yeah, this was all just a matter of, and a lot of us were thinking that that might be the case, and sure enough, it was. I don't know if I have no idea what's going to happen with him.
Beginning of the next episode, he's back on the team.
I changed my mind.
Yeah, I slept on it.
I don't see that being the case. Yeah. But I love that the show went there with that. It's something that a lot of us were thinking they might be doing, and I love that they committed to that choice, because it just makes the whole thing feel a little bit more sinister and complicated, and it just makes for better storytelling as opposed to a repeat beat of it's the chip, it's the chip, it's the chip.
Well, it's so much harder. It's so much more dramatic and heartbreaking because, I mean, this guy's just down for the Imperial cause and is also in a position where, like, all the clone troopers are being phased out and reticent across the galaxy, jettisoned. Bleh. But, he is in this weird, unique position where he's one of the few who is sort of being given an opportunity in the new empire. And so, I mean, it plays into that sense of, needing purpose that much further, because it's like you see from the Empire side, every time you cut back to Rampart, like you see how much this guy probably really isn't in Crosshair's corner whatsoever, but also how Crosshair could be very swayed towards that because of, that sense of purpose and having, spent so much time fighting for this and then to bring it back around where I feel like that's just the best dramatic choice to make, is where like it's a real rift in the group, and it's the whole question of what's going on in the galaxy right now.
Absolutely. Well, Rampart doesn't care about him. They're willing to discard him just like anyone else. And I thought it was interesting to have the emotional aspect of Crosshair thinking that he was betrayed by his brothers. I guess that's what was making me feel pitiful towards him, was that he was direct about it. He said, you guys betrayed me.
Yeah.
And it brings you back to that first episode of this season where it was mainly Crosshair and Hunter who were butting heads the whole time about what is the right choice to do. And while you're totally on Hunter's side for all of this, he really wasn't ever hearing Crosshair out.
Yeah.
He wasn't having a discussion. It was like, no, we're doing this. I'm the leader. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Not that Hunter ever came across like a bad dude by any stretch, and nor did I ever go, wait a minute, Hunter, let's hear what Crosshair has to say.
We should follow the orders.
Yeah. But in terms of looking at the perspective and kind of flashing back to some scenes in my own head, it's interesting having that layer to it, because when you're first watching the episode, you're like, it's the chip, it's the damn chip, that's all it is. It's the chip. But as the show was progressing, you're going, it's not the chip, I don't think it's the chip.
This guy seems to really be dedicated to this. It
was cool. It was a cool step and a really neat cliffhanger. It's crazy. Didn't realize how much I care about those Kamino labs until now.
They get that montage at the end of like all the empty spaces, and you're like, oh, we're never going to get to come back here.
Damn, I'm going to miss this dark, desolate planet.
Miss this messed up research facility.
Messed all this heavy rain, thunder all the time.
The aesthetic, well, and that's the thing too, is like the aesthetics were gorgeous across this, with all the water and rain elements, and then the contrast with the light and like the really specific, like especially towards the end when they're starting to fire on the city and everything, like the depth of field in some of those shots. Like they really did a great job with the scale and the scope and really making it feel appropriately huge, for every situation they're having to deal with. Like I really felt the tension across this episode. I was caught up in the just sort of like time bomb of it all.
Totally. Was when you start seeing like the empty halls and the transition, and when you're coming from Clone Wars and the prequels, and you see where Kamino is very is very busy. It's such a vital part. And there is something like, not that I really cared about Nala Se or the Prime Minister or the actual Kaminoans in particular. Like, did I really care about them? Not really, but they were such an inhabitant part of the world here. And not that they appear in, anything after the prequels and the shows and stuff. There was something that leaves you with this hollow feeling, hollow in the right, dark, desolate way in your own heart.
Yeah, because you could feel the absence of all these people.
Yeah, you could feel the Empire taking over and this like goodbye of it all, and like the overall destruction and chaos at the end as a terrible of a situation as it is. You can't help but admire the gorgeous animation of all this glorious mess that is to behold here and wherever they're going. But I think the tube situation indicated that there's probably some type of place to hide out at. Not just the landing spot they went to, but it seemed like through the tube that there was some maybe like Gungan stuff is there
That's what
too.
it reminded me of.
Yeah, a little bit. The tubes kind of reminded me of the Empire Strikes Back tubes that Lucas fell down after the whole thing with Darth Vader and so,
a little bit.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. And you're going to like Nala Se's facility. Am I saying her name right? I think I am. If you're going to Nala Se's facility and learning what it's all about and how she was taken last episode, she's got to, because Mandalorian season 2, they were doing all this alluding towards the creation of Snoke and like working with the cloning to bring back Palpatine. And then that's kind of what they're teasing here too. And so I'm wondering if there will be some type of ultimate bridge here with the storylines of Bad Batch and Mandalorian, because I feel like Nala Se, she's got to be working on like Palpatine cloning or Snoke thingy,
anything to prolong the most valuable Sith Lords.
It's like the clones are such a big part of Star Wars, and there's been a lot of talk. I mean, we're following clones, sure, the Batch themselves, but there's a lot of like mysterious aspects to the cloning that have been taking place in this show too, like the episode with Bane and Fennec Shand when they're going toe to toe, and Omega discovers that facility. So yeah, I don't know. I just got me a little curious. There's something very ominous about the whole going to Nala Se's facility and seeing where the Batch was born.
Yeah. See, I appreciate that plot thread because it seems like you absolutely could tie it into cloning, Snoke or Sidious or any of those people,
sure.
or Palpatine, I should say. But I can also see if they decide not to maybe go with that, because I don't know, like the fleshing out Snoke almost feels like sort of a dead end now just because of what happened, but then
Palpatine makes more sense.
Yeah, Palpatine makes the most sense, but I feel like you don't even necessarily have to do that. Like, you easily can, but there's a lot of other stuff you can bring in, because I mean, it's like it started with these clone armies and then it goes, theoretically perhaps through to that, but there's so many other sort of nasty bio experiments, and that also fits into your Nazi metaphor of the Empire.
Well, also Mandalorian, I would say part 1 of the finale of season 2, even though it was just one episode, but the first half also had the dark. Oh, they were in the last half too when Luke was messing them all up. But the dark troopers.
Yeah,
right. It's the right word, right?
I think so.
Constantly, I'm like, is it death or dark? I think it's dark troopers, right? They have the dark troopers there too, but I believe they fought side by side when they were in the first episode here, when they were doing like the let's test out how good this batch really is.
Yeah,
and I think they had a couple of them in there, but. Yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing some parallels here where they might be doing that. And there seems to be some riffing on the hero. Star Wars is very big on hero's journey. And there seems to be some hero's journey going alongside with the Hunter character specifically of what they've been implementing. And, it's like, it's interesting how they've taken this group of clones, this batch, but they're telling like the most traditional Star Wars stuff, like Crosshair, someone essentially who was once good turning to the dark side, and you
making
want to
that
bring him
choice.
back to
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that familial tie of like, no, please, just come back. You know, we can save you. We can all make this work.
Yeah, I feel like this show, I actually saw on Twitter that it was trending today. I mean, we shoot these on Fridays. We don't stay up till midnight on Thursday to shoot them. But I saw this was trending, and I didn't know anything about it. But I was like, hey, yay! I'm happy for the Bad Batch. I rarely see it go trending. So I'm hoping that over time this show, like they already announced for a season 2, so they got a lot more in store to uncover. Obviously these guys are alive. Like they have this devastating cliffhanger, but they're obviously going to live.
Bad Batch.
I'd be surprised if even one of them died. I'd be very surprised if even one person died. Like you start the next episode and one's dead.
Yeah. Weird. It's I wouldn't expect it, but at the same time, I could see it happening potentially.
I could lose
Echo, I guess, but think of all he's been through.
Nah, I would say Tech.
You could lose Tech.
I could lose Tech over Echo.
That's fair.
He's probably my least favorite one.
Okay. Because, I know you've been rooting for him.
They're all essential. No, they're all essential. It's just, I feel like Echo can adapt what Tech does.
That's probably true. And he could probably jack into technology that much more directly, too. So
I mean, Echo's had a really... This is where we lose everyone. If I had to off one of them, it would be Tech.
It would be Omega.
He's the one I find not as... I'm not going to say he's not interesting. I'm just not as interested in him as I am the other characters.
You don't like his glasses?
Sure, he's fine. But Echo's had the rough life, you know?
Yeah.
He's got the whole body dysmorphia thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's had the
like
rough life.
Separated for a long time.
Yeah, so he deserves a chance to Bye, Tech. Tech's dead.
We've mathematically solved it.
Tech is very important to the team, though. His technical insight is very, very necessary.
Yeah.
And Omega getting a chance to shine here, too, is great. I really think they've done a great job with Omega. Like, I really view her as a capable part of the team.
That's what I was sitting here appreciating this episode.
Yeah, because they don't draw this attention to it other than, like, you shouldn't be here, they're after us, you know. Calls for the distress signal, like, moments after they go. It's been like a minute. I didn't even have a chance to really...
just got there.
I just got to the other room. But I trust in her enough, and she seems really capable to handle business as well. Not that she's like fully matured to the point where she's equal level with them on skill set, but I think it is cool how the show started off with her where I'm like, oh, is she going to become a nuisance? Is she going to become this annoying ass kid that just like drag around?
Running off and getting into trouble. We got to save her.
And she kind of was that for a lot of plot stuff, but I feel like she has matured a lot in ways that are seemingly more subtle than I anticipated, to the point where I'm like, oh, they're not even really calling it out, but it's there.
Yeah.
So I really like it.
Yeah.
Well, what are your theories for what's going to go down in the finale, the official finale? This is crazy stuff, man. But there were the people the scientists from Kamino in the Mandalorian, because this takes place after Revenge of the Sith, where Mandalorian takes place after Return of the Jedi. So there were those scientists.
Yeah.
And they show this Kamino facility and they were wearing the Kamino patches, and not that this is the only place where they have cloning facilities. It just seems like the main hub.
Maybe it's like an intergalactic Operation Paperclip thing where, like, you know, once the Kamino facility is dissolved, they just send the different researchers to all over the galaxy to where they need them and can do research for other nefarious government deeds.
I will say it is interesting to have a character like Crosshair willingly choose to be with the Empire, but it's all for this very personal rooted basis of I know what I'm designed for, and what my design is best suited for is this purpose here, what the Empire has in mind, and what I can play as a soldier here. So I guess the part that makes it intriguing is there's something that feels like traumatic about his reasoning.
It feels human the way it gets played, because I think it to me it's somewhere in between those lines of, like, the Empire, he seems to have a purpose. He believed in the cause that they were always fighting for and how that transitioned into the new Empire, and also then the betrayal of, you know, I thought we were brothers and we would always be on the same page together. And so Yeah, I don't know. To me, it did seem like I bought it when he's like, I want to give you a chance. You know, I'm going to take out all my guys here, and I'm going to really extend the branch to show you how serious I am about Like, I think that was what it really pulled it together. Was like, it wasn't just, come on with me, you know, let's go have glory at the Empire. No, okay, fine, I'm going to shoot all of you. Like, he really throws down on, like, I want us to, you know, fix this. I want you to take the chance I'm giving you. I want, you know, to reunite and, you know, move forward with our grand purpose or whatever. And so, like, that made it feel nuanced on top of the whole, like, it was my choice alone, because it takes the extra step not to make him just evil now and, like, oh, secretly he was just super evil. It's like, you know, secretly he's just bought into an ideology that's poisonous, you know. And that's a very real thing. And, you know, it's like, not that these are, you know, the most allegorical stories, but, you know, especially in, you know, the metaphors of, you know, an empire like this, you know, that's something that everybody has to deal with when something like that arises, you know, when the people around you can be swayed by that and really have the conviction, you know, to walk away from family or connections like that, you know.
Yeah, I've cut off a lot of my family due to political beliefs.
That's right.
I haven't. I know other people have. I go, let me get you on camera.
Let me post this to my story. I'm going to tag you in it.
I think people will get a big kick out of what you got to say.
Yeah. You're going to go viral. You're going to be internet famous.
All right, guys. Well, leave your thoughts down below. Check us out for the finale. Last but not least, let's do a pick.
Daniel Gallagher. You know what I did today? I was like, I think it's time to shout out Daniel Gallagher, but I don't want to do all the normal stuff, so I stalked you on Instagram. And you know what I found out? Daniel Gallagher is a cute-looking dude, man. And plus, I imagine you with the Scottish accent. I would love to clone you and have a bunch of different versions of you so I could hear different iterations of your accent, but all through the scope of, you know, various sci-fi characters and whatnot. You're a traveled guy, so you would be, like, right at home, moving throughout the galaxy and whatnot. Plus, you know, like the core you can obviously have your medical expertise, but think of all the other possibilities, man. You could have one of you that's like super buff. You could have one of you that's like really skinny but with a big head and he's like super intelligent. You could have one that's like a kid. You could have one that's a dog or something like that. It would be awesome.
Okay, got it. Why don't we shout out Daniel Gallagher today? Just going through the list. All right. Daniel Gallagher.